Hello, sports fans. Larry Allen and Scott Surratt here for the Carthage Bulldog portion of Pigskin Preview. And this week, the Bulldogs end the regular season at home against the Kilgore Bulldogs. But let's go back to last Friday night. And Scott, you won that one 34-0 for the district championship.
Yeah, it was a fun night. I thought our players played incredibly hard, and we didn't play great sometimes on offense, but especially early. I thought we got a rhythm there at the end. I thought we moved it a bunch. Obviously, with almost 500 yards between the 20s, but we made a few mistakes. But defensively, when you play defense like that, you can make a lot of mistakes, and we played great on special teams, and other than the first kick return, I believe, and then. But anyway, I thought it was a great effort by not only our players but our coaching staff did a phenomenal job with the game plans, and more importantly, we executed them.
I guarantee you, Henderson had not met a defense like that this year.
Well, we're getting better. We've tweaked a lot of things early, and played some players, and then made some position changes and things, and I think it's for the best. And when you do make position changes, it may not look good early, but they've got to get some reps and some experience at the new position or whatever. And I think you saw us play our best game defensively Friday night.
35 wins in a row now, Scott. How much do you talk to the team about that?
Never mentioned it. We've never mentioned the streak one time. We just talk about playing well this next week. And, there's no hiding it, stuff like that. Just, I've said it time and time again, you can't hide streaks or this or just because it's on social media so much. But, we never talked about it as a team because that's not what's important. We've some of our best football teams, if not our best football teams, have gotten beaten in season. So that's not what our main goal is, to see how many wins we can win in a row or run this streak up. We just want to play good football and see how hot and how much noise we can how hot we can get and how much noise we can make in the playoffs.
Kilgore Bulldogs this week, they are in the playoffs as a number 4 seed. Carthage in there as a number 1, Kilgore number 4. Tell us about Kilgore.
Well, Kilgore is big, and they're talented. Obviously, they've struggled some at times with their record, but it's Kilgore Carthage. It's kind of like Henderson Carthage. We know they're going to get their best shot. They beat us, I think, 2 out of the last 3 years. I'm not sure on that, but I'm pretty sure on that. And so we've got a lot to play for. We want to be have a lot of momentum going into playoffs. We want to win at home. The last time these seniors ever touched it, more than likely, we gave scenario if we was to play a district team, say for instance Kilgore or Henderson in the 4th round. I mean, there's always chances, or the 3rd round, whatever, and you could go flip home and home there if you had to. We probably wouldn't do that, but it's always possible. But more than likely, this is definitely the seniors' last game, and so we want to send those guys out right at Bulldog Stadium. But more importantly, we want to, like I said, we want to be hot going with momentum going into playoffs.
All right, we want to make sure the fans know when that recognition is going to take place. It's going to take place before the game starts, right?
That is correct. It should start around 6:55, 7 o'clock.
All right, very good. All right, now let's talk about the playoffs. Carthage is the number 1 seed. I know that you've already thought about some plans for next week. What's coming up next week?
Well, next week we play in Lindale next Thursday at 7 o'clock. We're the home team. That's either going to be against, more than likely it's going to be against Life Waxahachie, and but if Quinlan Ford beat those guys, I believe by a couple of touchdowns, 12, 13 points or something, then it could be Quinlan Ford, but more than likely it's going to be Life Waxahachie.
I want to get your comments on this, Scott. Several years ago, 6A had the privilege of playing their first playoff game at home, and 5A was added this year. Okay, question. Do you like that idea, and do you think it's going to go down to 4A eventually?
I think I really will like it if it come down to 4A, and whether we can get in the first two spots or not from here on. But I would really like it this year to be able to host a game, and I tell you what, it's put us in a bind. 4A's and down finding fields because the 5A's and 6A's are a lot of them playing. For instance, Longview is playing, so that's not available. Lindale's not available on Friday night because they're one of the top two seeds now. They may go down to 3 if they get beat this week. White House has got a chance to be one. So it's so many, you can't lock anything down because there's so many 5A and 6A things up in the air, and like Marshall's stadium's not available. No, they won district, so they're just not it cuts the stadiums in half, and that you can get into, and you don't want to all of a sudden play on grass when you hadn't played on it all year, and then it's muddy, because we had a lot of rain and stuff like that. So that's what the main reason we're playing on Thursday night is. That's when we could lock down the stadium, and the other two teams agreed to it.
All right, very good. So in other words, that I know you prefer Friday night playoff games, but lack of stadiums cause you to go to Thursday night, right?
Well, it does, and we played several Thursday night games in the first round. Going back in 2008, we played Tatum on a Thursday night, and at our place, and we probably played 4 or 5 Thursday opening games. Now after that, we try to get back on schedule, but especially if we're a big favorite, if you're a big favorite, you'd want to play on Thursday. That way you should win, and then you get a day's extra work to work on the next opponent. Of course, they may be playing on Thursday too, but because I know that LCM's playing on Thursday next week, and that's who it could possibly be the second round if we could beat Life Waxahachie or Quinlan Fort.
Plus, playing on Thursday, I guess, gives you a chance to scout on Friday night, doesn't it?
It does. It gives you a chance to scout. It gives you, it's been a long grind. It gives you a little bit more longer weekend for us coaches and a little bit more rest, and your mind rests. You can go watch a game, and because we get the tape anyway, you just kind of watch it and have a fun Friday night because obviously you won Thursday if you're going to scout. So anyway, that's the plan, and I'm pretty sure that I know the rest of them should be on Friday or Saturday.
How do you see the team now, Scott, through 9 games as far as strengths, weaknesses?
Well, I think we're getting better. We got to get our. That's the first game. Our passing game was kind of off. I thought we actually threw it better in the rain at Chapel Hill than we did the other night, and we had some opportunities. We had some guys open, and I thought our linemen they did a great job in protection. But we dropped a couple balls in the first half. Kelvonte dropped a big one early for a touchdown, and then we had another big one dropped, and sometimes that hurt the quarterback's confidence or whatever. But I don't know if you can hurt his confidence. He's very confident. He don't worry about the last play. He worry about the next play, and so I think you'll see him play very well against Kilgore this week.
Scott, I go out to practice, and one of the things I really enjoy is getting out there to watch the kickers. And I tell you what, those kickers remind me a little bit of professional golfers, where they're really hot in one round and they're not so hot the next. The kickers go hot and cold, don't they?
That's a good analogy, really good, because it's, I played tons and tons of golf, and, one day that your swing feels like it's just great. You can hit it straight, and you can draw the ball or fade the ball, just whatever you want to do that day. Then the next day you don't know where it's going. It's going dead left, dead right. You can't correct it, and so it's like a golf swing, and it's a mental deal too. And so we may look at another kicker this week. Brendan Phillips may come up with us this week, and he's been hot in practice, and especially on extra points, and he kicks it higher than the rest of them. So we may let him kick. I don't know, and we may wait till next week. We don't know. We're looking at changing a little bit, maybe going to Jackson Blissett at holder and Caden Holcomb snapper. And so we've been doing a lot of things and trying to get that group better, and because you should be 99% on extra points at this level, and we missed too many, and so we're still tweaking with it, see if we can get up to that 99% level. So, but it's been, I love working with those guys. I'm the kicking coach, so it's I really don't work with them a whole lot. Just try to help their confidence in things, because they know more about it than I do.
Do you give them any technique tips?
Some. I used to be the kicking coach at a long time in Orange, and I had really 2 kickers, and they taught me a lot about soccer style kicking. And back then I used to kick with them a little bit, and I had no idea how to do it, and I kind of taught myself a little bit. Still wasn't very good at it, but I understood the ins and outs of the soccer style kicking a football, and it's different than kicking a soccer ball, because your foot wants to be in front of your knee, and your knee in soccer, your knee wants to be in front of your foot, so keep the ball down. But and you're kicking extra point or field goals, you want your foot in front of your knee so the ball lift. And but it's a lot of key things like that. And, it's about placing the front foot and the follow through. It's a lot of things, and like I said, most of those guys know more than I do about it, and I just tweak it a little thing here or there if I see something they're doing wrong.
Now, speaking of the kicking game, tell us about the onside kick the other night against Henderson.
Well, we thought we had it, and it was unbelievable. The guy touched it with one hand, and it's going right to Calvante, and they only had one guy over there. We had 4, and we had it set up and said if they line up like this, we're going to give it a shot. And it worked perfect in practice. And one of those deals that we just call it surprise onside, and he was so instinctive after it hit his right hand. I don't know if he could do it another 100 times, but then he reached over and batted it out of bounds with his other hand and had no chance. And now, we made a mistake. As soon as he touched it, we had 2 guys right beside him who should have really hit him, and there wouldn't have been no other hand on the ball, and then it was definitely our ball. But we were sitting there watching him instead of hitting him when he touched it. And if we would have made contact with him, there's no doubt he couldn't have got the other hand up, and we'd have got it easy. But it's something you can't practice. We're not going to put somebody out there just to hit them and smoke them. We may do something like that again. But the good thing about it, we knew we were playing very good defense at that point. And I usually discuss that with Coach Preston, usually, and he didn't care. And he said, "Yeah, let's do it." So he said, "We'll get them stopped," and that's it. Because if we don't get it, they're going to get good field position, and but we got them stopped right after that, and we got the ball back, so it didn't hurt us.
Well, my honest reaction when it happened was, I'm a little surprised he's showing it this early in the season, but on the other hand, by you showing it, that just gives the other team something they have to worry about.
Well, it does, and we'll do a lot of things, and and we may not ever get that lineup again. We had one guy over there, the rest of them were inside the hash, and we knew we were going to be 4-on-1 in a hurry. We just needed and I told our kicker just to give us a shot, and he did. He kicked it great. It was perfect, and he got lucky to get one hand on it, and then when he hit the one hand got on it, kind of hit it back to him, and then he knocked it out with the other hand. So it was a crazy deal, but we got some other things coming.
All right, I want to ask you about one more play. Ja'Cory Ware into the half with the interception, and he had the presence of mind to stay in the end zone until the half ended. I thought that was pretty sharp right there.
He's a very heady player. Unbelievably smart player. He's been in position. He struggled a little bit early this year, been out of position a time or two, and he's really played well here lately. And he played great for us last year. We're expecting to finish this thing up and play great for us the rest of the way, because I think he had 8 picks last year, and I think he's got 3 or 4 this year.
Got 4.
4. That's what I thought. And so you throw it over close to him, and he's looking at it. He's got a great chance to pick it off because he got great hands. He got great ball skills.
All right, tell us as we end this, Scott, about the emotions of the team. I assume hope they're not looking ahead.
Now we're not looking ahead. Monday was more of a, when you come off a humongous game like we played against Henderson and emotions were so high, then we kind of let them have I don't want to say a down period, but Monday was not near as intense as a usual Monday because we knew as coaches we were tired. The players, they were drained a little bit, but then Tuesday we're back regular running, and we had a real good practice yesterday, so it won't have anything to do with that. I think whoever executes the best football team is going to win against us in Kilgore, and that's what it's all about.
All right, kickoff 7:30 on Friday night, and as Scott mentioned, the honoring of the seniors will start around 6:50 or 6:55. Make sure you're there for that also. For our Coach Surratt, I'm Larry Allen. Everyone have a great weekend.